Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Hair Babes in Business podcast. My name is Jess and I am your host, and today I wanted to welcome you on this very special last episode of 2024. And today what I wanted to talk to you guys about is something that I think you'll find really motivational for the new year and stepping into 2025 and just making your business dreams and goals a reality in 2025. I've kind of come up with a concept for today's podcast episode that I want to share with you that I think will just be really helpful moving forward and moving into 2025 and thinking about the way that you think about things and how you kind of set yourself up for the new year. And so if you are watching on the YouTube, I have got some notes here. I very rarely am a note writer. Usually I prefer to kind of just go with the flow, but this is something that I did really want to get like a message across that is very important. So I did write some notes. So if you see me looking down on the YouTube, I'm looking at some notes, that's why. But obviously if you're on the Spotify, it's not going to affect you at all. But I guess I just kind of wanted to jump into today's episode and sort of say, like, tomorrow is New Year's Eve. And I think 2024 has just been such an interesting year. So many people have felt like a massive sense of growth, but at the same time, so many people have just felt really sad. Like, there's been a lot of sadness and a lot of challenges that we've faced in 2024. And I think it's just been a year that everyone's kind of happy to see the back of. And I know that it's definitely one I'm happy to see the back of. And I know that a lot of other people are feeling that way too. But I think it's hard because as an overall general consensus, as hairdressers and as salon owners, we've kind of had a really hard time ever since 2020. And, you know, we're about to enter 2025. And so that sort of marks 5 years since all this chaos kind of started. And it's hard because we're just sort of looking at things and how things have happened and evolved and changed. And it does get kind of hard because you do sort of start to wonder, like, is there an end in sight? And I think that's really hard. And so what I kind of want to encourage you to do today is not necessarily think about the fact that things are hard and like, when are they going to get better? I think it's kind of important to challenge yourself to think in a sense of things are hard, but how can I adapt and how can I change and how can I problem solve to try and make things better? So that's what I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about today. Now, I know that a lot of us did have a really hard time in 2024, and I think it was a year for learning a lot of lessons, coming up with a lot of solutions to problems, coming up, trying different ways of problem solving, trying different ways of troubleshooting, trying to think outside the square to come up with solutions to problems that we've never really had to face before. And for that reason, I don't want to completely disregard 2024 because I think we did learn some really valuable lessons, and I think we've learned some really good things that we can take into 2025 with us. And I think if we're able to do that, we're going to be able to create a really strong foundation for 2025 and just have a really good foundation to build off of and, think about things differently and problem solve differently. So I don't want to completely disregard 2024. I think there were some valuable lessons we can take into 2025 with us. But what I kind of want to do is help you change your thinking going into 2025 so that you maybe have a better mindset and hopefully a better outcome. So what I want to talk to you about today is a concept that I've been thinking of over the last couple of weeks. And I thought this is really what I want to create as my final episode for 2024, my New Year's Eve episode heading into 2025. And this concept is all about changing your mindset to build the algorithm of your life. And what I mean by that is when you're scrolling online on any platform it may be, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever it is, the platform quickly discovers what your likes are, what your preferences are, what you're interested in, and the algorithm becomes tailor-made to you. So for me, for example, my For You page or my Explore page or my Facebook feed is usually filled with things to do with makeup and hair and lifestyle and like homewares and puppies and all the things that I really love, like nail designs and music. Like, that's what my pages are generally filled with because they're the things that I love and they're the things that I am interested in. So those platforms have learned that they're the things that I'm going to respond to. They're the things that I'm going to interact with. They're the things that I'm going to enjoy. They're the things I'm going to share with. And so the algorithm gives me more of that stuff because obviously at the end of the day for these platforms, the idea is to keep you on the app for as long as they possibly can. So if they're sharing with you the things that it knows that you love, obviously you're going to stay on there longer and you're going to spend more time on that app or doing those things. So it's in their best interest to kind of give you what you're wanting as well. Now, something that I thought was really interesting is that last month I went through something really quite awful. It was a really hard time in my life, possibly the hardest time I've ever been through in my life. And I will talk more about that later, but now's not the time. It's something that we'll talk more about later. But when I was going through that time, it was so crazy to me. Like within a week, my feeds on everything, on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, everything completely changed. And they went from being about hair and makeup and like puppies and all this fun stuff that I really love to being like really deep quotes and things about anxiety and depression and mental health. And suddenly they were darker videos with like sad music in the background. And it honestly happened within a week. Like the change from what I usually love and what I usually look for to what I was going through in that moment changed within about a week. It was honestly crazy to me how quickly everything got switched up on its head. And at that time, I felt like it was like my phone knew exactly what I was going through. It was like my phone knew exactly what I needed in that moment. It was giving me everything I needed for that self-validation, to be like, you're not alone right now. Like this is a common experience. Like lots of other people go through this thing. Like it was a really interesting thing where I just suddenly felt like my phone understood me and it was really relating to me. And in some ways, it really did feel like the tarot card reader on TikTok who was, if you're seeing this message is just for you, was really speaking to me, even though 20,000 other people had liked that video and 5,000 people had commented on it saying, I really needed to hear this right now. Thank you so much. It was almost as if when I was watching these videos, I was like, no, they really are speaking to me and me alone and me directly. But I think at the end of the day, the reality is that this little device that we hold in our hands, that we aimlessly scroll through at nighttime before we go to bed, it's an inanimate object, right? It doesn't know how we're feeling. It doesn't know really what we're looking for. It doesn't actually have any emotional connection to us, right? It's a phone. But the thing that the phone is picking up on is, what are we telling it we like? What are we telling it we're interested in? What are we telling it we want to share with our friends? What are we telling it that we want to hear from it? What's the information that we're giving it that we are telling it we want to receive in return, right? What am I actively wanting and what am I actively searching for it to give me back in return what it is that I need? And this is what I want to talk to you guys about. Now, before I dive too deeply into today's conversation, there's just a little quote that I wanted to share with you. So I saw this quote online and I'm going to explain why this is so important to you in a minute. I'm not sure who originally said this, and when I looked it up online, most places said that the author was unknown. But the quote is, witches call it spells, Christians call it prayer, spiritualists call it manifestation, atheists call it the placebo effect, scientists call it quantum physics. Everyone is arguing over its name, no one is denying its existence. What I'm talking about today is real life stuff. And it really is happening. And we might all have a different name for it, but I think none of us can deny that this is truth and this actually happens and it is real. My job is to teach you about business and hairdressing and all those sorts of things. But today, for the purpose of this podcast, I'm going to refer to these things as two things. We're either going to refer to it as mindset or the universe. So you can change those words with whatever you believe. Like mindset can be prayer, manifestation, coincidence, placebo effect, science, whatever you want it to be. And the universe can be replaced with God, higher power, the universe, whatever it is that you believe. It doesn't really matter. I just want to use these two words because I feel like they're a bit more universal and everyone can sort of relate to it. So we're going to talk about these things in the terms of mindset and the universe. So going back to the algorithm topic that we were talking about before, like I said, we handpick our algorithms. We tell our phones the information we want to receive. And we tell it those things by what we like, what we share, what we save, what we interact with. Like we're telling it the information it needs so that it can keep giving us more of the stuff that we love, right? And our phones respond to it immediately. And at the start, it's very generic, but over time, it slowly gets more and more and more specific until you have really handcrafted your For You page or your feed or your Explore page to be exactly what it is that you're looking for. So an example of this is, I love dogs, right? So to start off with, my For You page or my Explore system or whatever it is that I'm looking on is just going to give me hundreds of dog videos, right? All different kinds of dog videos. But over time, it's going to narrow it down to the fact that I love Labradors and I love Golden Retrievers. And I specifically love videos where children are surprised with beautiful gifts of a brand new puppy, or puppies doing really cute things, or puppies doing really funny things. Like, eventually it's going to get super specific and it's going to know exactly the kind of things that I want to see and exactly the kind of things that I want to listen to and exactly the kind of things that I want to enjoy. And it's going to get really specific. But to start off with, before we get to that super specific point, it's still going to give me the dog videos and the dog content that I'm looking for. And I'm going to enjoy it. But over time, it's just going to get more and more specific until eventually it's giving me exactly what it is that I'm looking for, right? So this leads me to what I really want to talk to you guys about today. What I really, really want to talk to you guys about today is changing your mindset to think about what it is that you like, that you love, that you want to attract into your life, that you want your life to look like, that you want your business to look like, what all your goals are, what all your visions are, and aligning your mindset to start attracting and looking for those things. Because essentially what you're doing, just like you're telling your phone, I want to see the puppy videos, if you start telling the universe that these are the things you want and these are the things that you want to attract and this is the things that you're looking for, the universe is going to build the algorithm of your life. And it is going to start bringing those things into your life and giving you in abundance what it is that you're searching for and what it is that you're asking for. And this is the concept I want to explain and share with you guys today. So what we're talking about today is building the algorithm of your life, changing your mindset to start looking for the opportunities that you're trying to attract in your life. And I want to talk about this because I think it's really interesting. I heard someone talking about manifestation, and she was saying that manifestation isn't saying there's going to be a yellow Lamborghini in my driveway in the morning and then waking up and there's a yellow Lamborghini in your driveway. Manifestation is saying there's going to be a yellow Lamborghini in my driveway one day. So how can I find the job that's going to help me save the money to get the yellow Lamborghini? I'm going to start following pages where people sell yellow Lamborghinis so that if one comes up in my budget or my price range, I can buy the yellow Lamborghini. It's searching for opportunities. It's not just saying like, I'm going to click my fingers and wave my magic wand and here it will appear. It's like, how can I align myself to do the things that I need to do in order to get the thing that I want? And I think that's really important to think about. Like with all of these things, like you can pray for it, you can do a spell for it, you can ask the universe for it, you can manifest it, whatever it is that you want to do. But if you're not going to put in the hard work to get to the thing that you want or make that happen, then like it's just not going to work. There has to be a level of involvement and a level of work to get the things that you want. But really what this is about is changing your mindset to make sure that you're looking for the opportunities to get you to where you want to be. So what you really need to do is you need to look at your brain as your life's algorithm. And in saying that, what that means is your mindset is going to determine what you attract into your life. So like the puppy scenario I just gave you, I want to give you two examples of this in terms of life. And I'm going to read this because I really thought about this and wrote this down because I just think it's easier to kind of have all the facts when I wrote it down. So the first one is example 1, which is an example of a bad mindset. Your mindset says, we're in a financial crisis. Business is too hard. I might close it down this year. What happens as a result of that? You tune into people talking about the financial crisis. They're talking about how tough it is right now. You actually find yourself secretly delighting in the conversations arising and about getting to complain about bills, the cost of living, how it's impossible to get ahead, and how hard life is at the moment. Every time an uncomfortable money issue arises, whether it be a client cancelling, an unexpected bill, your rent going up, your colour company is raising their prices, you think to yourself, yep, that'd be right. Everything just keeps getting harder and harder. You keep thinking about how hard your business is, you start resenting it. You think about closing often and you feel very negatively about it. In response, the universe starts showing you more businesses that are closing. So suddenly you're scrolling online and you see another salon's closed, another salon's closed, another salon's closed. You're in conversations with people and they say, did you hear that such and such down the road had to close their salon? Suddenly you start surrounding yourself with people who feel negatively about money and the financial crisis. It starts to close you off to thinking about solutions to problems. Instead of finding business opportunities, you'll find more negativity surrounding business and more confirmation as to why things are so hard and why you should just give up. The angrier you get, the more reasons you'll find to just be done. Now, are all the good opportunities, positivity, and good things still there? Of course they are, but they're not showing up in your algorithm because you've stopped interacting them. The good news is if you start searching for these things and interacting with them again, you'll be able to attract them back. But it's about switching the algorithm and getting back to those good things rather than focusing on the negativity. So example number 2 will be the flip side of this. Your mindset says, yeah, we're in a financial crisis, but I am strong and my business is amazing and I'll find a way to overcome this. Good things always happen to me and I attract abundance and opportunities in my life. What happens as a result of that? You will attract positive problem solvers into your life who will have positive, constructive conversations with you. You will be open to opportunities. A client will talk about her son's footy raffle and you'll donate a $50 voucher, which will gain you a new client. Or you'll have a client tell you about a charity event that needs sponsors and you'll offer to be a sponsor, and that's going to give you so much more free advertising and so much more exposure. You'll start noticing things that will help you financially. For example, your color company will have a 30% off sale, or the building next door will be up for lease and the rent will be $200 less per month. You'll come up with out-of-the-box ideas, great solutions to difficult situations, proactive ways to make money, and see opportunities in situations that seem hopeless. Of course, the negative and the difficult things will still be there, but you'll be so focused on the positive, the solutions, and the problem solving that it'll be easier to see the positives in the difficult situations. And this is why I feel like your mindset can so hugely impact your life's algorithm, because what you think and how you feel affects what happens to you and how you find solutions to your issues. The thing is, if you're looking for good things, you'll find them. But if you're looking for bad things, you'll find them. Now, I just want to clarify that if you have a great mindset, it doesn't mean that bad things aren't going to happen. And if you have a terrible mindset, it doesn't think that good things aren't going to happen either. It just means that if you do have a great mindset and something bad happens, it's going to be easier to see solutions. It's going to be easier to problem solve. It's going to be easier to be like, this is just a bad day, not a bad life. But if you have a negative mindset and good things happen, you're just going to be like, oh, it was just an odd chance. Oh, it was just a coincidence. Okay, yeah, that good thing happened, but I've still got 10 bad things happening over here. So it really is so powerful and important to get your mindset in check so that you can start focusing on the things that you really want. And it really is like, it's hard to do that, but if you can do it, it's going to change everything for you. The thing is, when it comes to having a positive mindset, it takes a lot of practice, it takes a lot of discipline, and it takes a lot of effort. But at the end of the day, it is 100% worth it. Going into 2025, I think it's important to take this mindset shift with you, having a positive mindset to say, like, I know that I'm going to get thrown some difficult things in 2025, but I'm going to be better than that. I'm going to choose to see the positives. I'm going to choose to find the solutions. I'm going to choose to be above it and find ways to make it work. I think that's really important to take into 2025 with you. But at the same time, I also think it's really important to just think about how much life has changed in 2024. I think it's really important that we do enter 2025 with some really realistic expectation and goals about how we expect 2025 to go. And I think it's really important that in the year 2025, we actually just allow ourselves some grace. Like, we have been through it and we are doing really, really well. Even if some days it feels like we want to give up, like, we need to allow ourselves the grace to be like, you know what, I actually am doing a good job, and like give ourselves a pat on the back and remind ourselves that times are really tough. And any little win that you have is actually a huge win in the year 2025. And I think that's really important to think about and reflect on, and not just see all these problems, but actually look back and be like, wow, look at like what I've overcome. I have spoken about this a lot before, but I want to speak about it again right now. The 2025 goalposts look completely different to the 2020 goalposts. And at this current point in time, if you are literally making enough money each week just to cover bills, cover expenses, cover wages, and there's not a lot left over after you've done all the things you have to do, that's still a sign of success. That's a really great sign of success. And if that's all that you're managing to do right now, be so proud of yourself for that, because that in itself is success. And I think we have to realize that like the goalposts have changed, and what used to look like success is completely different to what success looks like right now. And if you are just managing to keep up with the things that you have to do, that is success, and you should be so proud of yourself for that. Sometimes a really great shift in mindset is literally just being a little bit kinder to yourself and just like managing your expectations a little bit, and stop expecting so much of yourself and just being a little bit kinder of yourself and celebrating the small wins, because right now the small wins actually are the huge, humongous, gigantic, amazing wins. It doesn't always have to be like a 50K month. Like, the huge win could be the fact that you paid your bills for the week, and you should be so proud of yourself that you were able to do that when at the start of the week you were like, how the heck am I going to do this? Like, that is a huge win. I really want us to enter 2025 with a really positive mindset and outlook, and with really good expectations on ourselves of what is actually realistic and what is actually something that we're able to achieve. And I want us to go in with like a really clear mind and a really clear vision. If you really love today's episode and you want to dive even further into this, I have something very exciting to announce. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been working really hard on creating a program for you to have the most successful businesses that you possibly can in 2025. Now, at the time that I'm currently recording this, I haven't confirmed a name for this masterclass and I haven't confirmed a price, but I'm working really hard on making this masterclass so ridiculously affordable that every single one of you will be able to do it. And I'm just so excited to share this with you. We're going to go into this course and come up with a really clear vision for 2025, come up with some really clear goals, and then we're going to really clearly define how we're going to achieve all the things that we want to achieve in 2025. This is honestly the roadmap to mapping out a year of business success in 2025. And I'm going to give it to you for such a crazy low price because I want every single one of you to experience the success that you absolutely deserve in 2025. So that program is going to be released on New Year's Eve, which will be tomorrow at the time that this is uploaded. And I hope that every single one of you jumps into that program and does it, because it is just going to help you navigate the entire year and really look at what you need to do to get yourself to where you want to be. And there's going to be so much helpful information, so many helpful resources in that little package. And I just think it's going to absolutely change the game for you. I'm so excited to share it with you, and I can't wait to see you in the program. And for now, I just want to say thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for a year of support. We're officially celebrating our 1-year anniversary of Hair Babes and Business being open. This business is bigger than I ever dreamed that it could have been. And the opportunities I've had this year have just been absolutely unreal. And I'm so grateful that I'm in a position where I'm able to do this job and share my knowledge and my wisdom with you, and that you guys are finding it so helpful as well. And I just, thank you to every single person who's reached out, told me that they've learned something helpful, found my courses helpful, found the podcast helpful, sent in your questions, just everything. I appreciate you guys so much. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity, and I am so excited to see what 2025 has in store for you guys, but I'm so excited to see what 2025 has in store for me as well, because I think it's just going to be a year of so many big and wonderful things. So guys, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining in. If you loved the episode on YouTube or Spotify, please give me a follow and a good review. And if you haven't already, come and join me on the TikTok and Instagram. You can find me on all the platforms at Hair Babes and Business. Guys, happy 2024. I hope that you have the most incredible New Year's, and let's make 2025 the best year yet. I'm so excited and I can't wait to see what you all achieve. Thank you guys so much. I love you so much. Have a wonderful New Year's, guys. Mwah.